Hey there, on today's episode, I'm going to be sharing with you the number one thing that you need to be doing on your microdosing journey to be feeling exactly the way you want to feel every single day of your life from now on. It's probably not what you think, but I guarantee you it is incredibly important. I am Dr. Dave. Welcome to Microdose U.
Enter the world of magic mushrooms with Microdose U.
Hey there, all nakama. I really appreciate you. It's going to be a very special episode today because I'm going to share something with you that if you're not doing this, you're just not going to be getting the results that you want. And I know you're here because you want to feel better every single day. No matter what you have going on in your life, you want to feel better. And I'm going to make sure, my mission is to help you with this. No matter how long it takes, no matter what I have to do, my mission is to make you feel better every single day of your life from now on. We're going to do this. Before I get into it, a really important announcement I have for you. This coming Wednesday, May 22nd, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. And in case you're listening to this, who knows, down the road, the date is 2020, the year is 2024, May 22nd, 2024. I am going to have as my guest on my webinar, or my webinar classroom, the guys from Mormons on Mushrooms. It's a podcast they do out of Utah, and these guys, Mike and Doug, really good guys. I've gotten to know them pretty well, and they grew up Mormon in Utah. And this is not a statement or my opinion on the religion in any way whatsoever. I am not Mormon. I don't know enough about it to make any kind of conclusions or have any kind of opinions. But all I can say to you is that they grew up in a heavily traumatized environment, and it finally took after trying a lot of things in their lives to feel better every single day and to get rid of the trauma and what went along with the trauma, they resorted to magic mushrooms. And the story is phenomenal. And not only do we want to get into their story on this on next week's podcast, I keep saying podcast, but it's a webinar. This is a podcast today. We're going to be helping each and every one of you who shows up live and giving you some really good tips. So if you can get out of your funk or whatever you're in, whatever you're trying to improve, we're going to go over that with you. It's going to be a really good class. Again, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. You got to translate that into whatever time zone you are and wherever you are in the world. And the way to get to this, and by the way, there's no charge for this class. I'm doing this because I really want to help you feel better every day. The way you get to this, and you do have to register, and there are limited spots. Simply go to my brand new website, and it's microdoseu.com. It's all spelled out one word, microdose with the letter U tacked onto the end of it, microdoseu.com/class. That will take you to the registration form for this webinar. And again, it is free. I do ask though that if you register, please show up, because if you register and don't show up, you're taking space away from somebody else that really wants to be there. We do have limited number of spots there. It's going to be awesome. My friend and colleague, Dr. Denise Moret, is going to be on here with us. And it's just a place for us to all hang out, feel like we're friends, feel like we're all helping each other out. Also, the energy is absolutely amazing. And some of you might be asking, well, why are you putting this on your podcast now? Because it's next week, and then people are going to be listening to this podcast for months and years on end probably, and they're going to be hearing this message. And what I say to that is, yeah, that's true. Somebody might be listening to this 2 years from now and saying, wow, I missed that webinar that was two years ago. But I'm recording this in real time for you. I'm doing this from my heart, and when I put my energy into any recording, any podcast episode, I'm recording it not to make it popular 2 years from now. I'm doing this because in this moment, this is the way I feel that I can help you and your life. And you are the most important thing to me right now. It's not my ratings. It's not my how many views or how many downloads I get from my podcast episodes for the next several years. It's right now in this moment. I feel your presence, and I truly want to help you. And that's why I'm doing it. And by the way, I suggest that you take a look at my brand new website, just up. I mean, I think it's exactly what I wanted. It's microdoseu.com. And again, that's just the word microdose and the letter U spelled, no dash, no nothing on the end of it, microdoseu.com. Check it out. Got a lot of good stuff there for you. And make sure you check out all the links in the show notes here, every episode. I've got some my goal and my mission in life now that I'm over 3 years into this microdosing journey, is to help those of you that just don't know where to turn. And the conventional wisdom has failed you. And I'm not down on the conventional wisdom. I'm not down on psychotherapy. I'm not down on talk therapy. I'm not down on pharmaceuticals. But I think they have limitations. I don't think they are truly going to get us where we want to be, as was evidenced in my journey. I mean, I tried everything I could. And it just didn't work the way I wanted. And so many of you have told me the same thing. Yeah, I mean, talk therapy, pharmaceuticals, they have their place. But if you truly want to change, truly want to rewire your brain, truly want to finally get rid of these demons, this anxiety, this depression, this post-traumatic stuff that you've got going on in your life, you got to, in my opinion, you've got to go deeper. And I say it during every episode, this is not medical advice. I am a doctor, I'm a retired dentist, but I'm not acting as your doctor when I podcast. I'm acting as your friend and your mentor, and somebody that's been through this and can truly help you on your journey. I really believe that. So let's get into today's episode. What I have to share with you is along the same lines. It's super important because so many of you have been writing to me every single day by email or however else you get in touch with me. And by the way, I love your comments. And I just got a comment actually last evening from a follower, and he said that the last few episodes I've done on this podcast have been absolutely amazing, and keep it up. And I try, because every time I turn this mic on, my goal is to give you the information that you need. So what do you need today? What is it that I'm thinking that you need, that you might be struggling with, to really get you on this journey the proper way and complete the journey and get it done and make you feeling better, allow you to feel better every single day? What is it? It's not necessarily the amount of magic mushrooms you consume on a daily basis. It's not even necessarily journaling. It's not necessarily meditation. It's not necessarily the shadow work. It's not, I mean, all that stuff is super important. Don't get me wrong, it's important. But what is the most crucial thing that you need to be doing today, right now, during this podcast episode, or right after? And that is saying to yourself, and maybe even saying to others, but most importantly, saying to yourself, I am all in, and I am going to do whatever it takes to allow me to feel better every single day of my life from now on. I will do whatever it takes. I am all in. Did I say that enough? I really mean it. And let me give you the reason why I'm telling you this. It's because I've come across so many people that want to feel better every single day. But when I ask them, are you all in? Are you willing to do whatever it takes? I will tell you this, the minority say, yes, absolutely, I will. And so many of you, and again, I'm not calling you out, or I still love you, but so many of you listen to my show, you love it, you write me great notes, but when it comes down to it, you haven't committed 100%. And that's what I want you to do today. And what does that 100% mean? What does it mean to do whatever it takes? Exactly that. You need to do whatever it takes. And that's, by the way, on our intake form, when I work with somebody one-on-one, with Dr. Denise Moret and I work with people one-on-one to help them get through their journey, whether they're total beginners and don't know the first thing about microdosing, or whether they understand how to microdose, and they've been doing it, but they just don't really or they're not reaching their goal. They're not getting to the point where they feel fantastic every single day. And then they finally say, I want to work with somebody. I want somebody to hold my hand and get this and work me through this and get me to the point where I feel like Dr. Dave every day. And I'm using myself as the example because I am like you. I'm not special. I'm not somebody that's got these superpowers that was able to start feeling better every day just magically. No, a little bit over 3 years ago, I decided that I'm all in. I'm all in, and I'm going to do every single thing it takes to feel better. And you know something? 3 years plus later, I can honestly say that every day is like a dream come true for me. It's a miracle. I feel really good, and I want to get you there. You don't understand how badly I want to see you get there. I don't want to see you struggling with any type of mental health issues anymore. I want to see you off your meds if that's possible. If you're on, I want to see that. I want to see you doing everything it takes. And yes, so what I was starting to say is that one of our questions on our intake form, when we start to work with people one-on-one, one of our questions is, are you 100% in, meaning you will do whatever it takes to feel better? And guess what? If somebody says, no, I'm not, we don't accept them. Because I'm not in the business of working with somebody one-on-one and having them pay me money to do this and then knowing that they're not in. Why would I ever want to take somebody's money when they're not 100% in? I wouldn't do that to you. I don't need the money. And we deserve to get paid for what we do when we do a service, but I don't need to take somebody's money that's not 100% in, because I don't want to work with somebody that is struggling to be 100% in, because they don't want to be in, if that makes sense. And the thing that amazes me the most, and that, no, this is not a commercial for my program, for my one-on-one program. It's not a commercial for that, because you know something, the right people find me, and I don't need to advertise, and I don't need to talk anybody into it, and I don't even need to ask twice, because if somebody's interested and I give them some information and they don't get back to me, I don't bug anybody, because that means they're not interested or they're not 100% in. And I only want people that are 100% in. But you know what really amazes me? This is the craziest thing. And you can correct me if you think I'm off base on this one, but I'm not. This is truly how I feel. Because again, this is your life. Let's use an average lifespan these days. And if you're pretty healthy and you're older, there's a good chance you're going to live into your 80s or 90s these days. Very good chance. If you reached a certain age, if you reached into your 60s, there's a very good chance, and you're healthy in your 60s, there's a very good chance you're going to live into your 80s or 90s now. Very good chance. And that's a lot of time left. And the thing that amazes me the most is somebody is not feeling well. They've got struggles in their lives. They want to feel better every single day. And the comment they make to me is, oh, your program is expensive. Well, I try to keep this podcast really, really clean. But when I hear that, I'm thinking, like, what the fuck? What are you talking about? First of all, it's not super expensive. It's not, when you compare it to other things. But like, you want to feel better. I just had a woman the other day. She said, yeah, I've been struggling with this and that. I'm not going to go into but struggling with a lot of stuff. And she said, yeah, I've heard about your program, but it's expensive, right? And I'm thinking, shit, like, yeah, well, let's even say it is. But that means that you're not 100% in, because you can't find the money and the time to feel better every single day for the rest of your life. Like, that's not enough for you. That's not valuable for you. You're not 100% in. I don't want you. It amazes me. It amazes me what's the word I'm looking for? I'm looking for a word. It's oh God, I can't think of it's hypocritical. Like on one hand, somebody says, I want to change so badly. I want to feel better so badly. But no, I'm not going to do this, or I'm not going to do that. And I'm not even referring to my program right now. If you want to do the program, that's fine. You know how to get me. But I'm not referring to that. I'm referring to, it amazes me that somebody struggles so much on a daily basis, but they don't want to do everything it takes to change. And that might be you. I've talked to people that are very close with me that have even tried talk therapy, going the normal route, going to a psychotherapist, trying some pharmaceuticals, and that doesn't even work for them because they go to like 2 or 3 visits and they say something like, no, well, they're not giving me any good advice. They don't understand me. Well, perhaps the reason they don't understand what's going on is because you're not honest with them and you don't spill your guts. You don't tell them everything. You hold back because you're afraid to tell them your whole story. Does that sound familiar at all? She's got something going on in her life that's not good. And she's tried going to a therapist many times, off and on. But she always comes back to me and says, no, they don't understand me. They're not good. Do you think it could be something with you that you're not sharing with them, or you're not all in, you're not listening to them really carefully? Is it possible? Okay, nakama. To feel better, you've got to be all in. From this moment on, I want you to say to yourself, I will do whatever it takes to feel better for the rest of my life. And if the money that you would have to pay me to feel better for a one-on-one coaching program is you feel it's too much, then guess what? You're not all in. And again, I'm not trying to convince one person here to do the program with me. I'm not. It's an example. It's an extreme example of somebody thinking they want to feel better, or somebody saying they want to feel better, but they're not willing to take all the steps necessary. If I felt shitty every day of my life, or almost every day of my life, and somebody said they have an answer and they can help me, and I was pretty convinced that whatever that was could help me, and let's say it costs an exorbitant amount of money, I would say, yes, I need to do this, because feeling better is more important than having that amount of money in my checking account. Feeling better every single day. And again, I'm not talking about my program anymore. I'm talking about anything, just generically. Generically feeling better. If it's that important to you, you will find a way. I really hope this makes sense, because this is so much more important than how many milligrams do I need to take per day. That's important. Of course it's important, and I teach that. Yes, it's important, but it's not as important as saying, I am all in. I want to be fixed. I'm fed up with this lifestyle. I'm fed up with feeling anxious. I'm fed up with being depressed. I'm fed up with the trauma that I've experienced in my life. I am all in. And from this day on, I'm going to do whatever it takes to get fixed. That's what you need to say to yourself, and maybe even to others. I truly hope this hits home with one person. Probably it will with more than one, I have a feeling. But one person, if I change one life with this episode, we're changing lives, one episode at a time. It's fine. It's totally fine. I'm in this for the long haul. I'm not going anywhere. I love doing this. I love recording. I love speaking to you. It's what I do now. And as I say at the end of every episode, and I'll say it in a second, but I want to remind you, I've got a brand new episode that comes out every Wednesday and every Friday. I speak from my heart. I can see you as I'm speaking. I visualize you. I'm speaking to you. I'm not speaking to a large audience in a large room. I'm speaking to you only. Hey, do what it takes. Do whatever it takes. I want to see you feel better. I'm Dr. Dave, and I do truly love you. I mean it. I hope you can feel that. See you next time.